Hey guys, hope you're well. I have another court report to give you the latest update as to what happened with DOA. Today we are talking about the misdemeanor case, so different than the felony case. Yesterday, long story short, we already know what the result is going to be, but I was not there to see it because it wasn't even technically on the docket because it looks like an automatic continuance has just been entered in. The one thing that did happen is Kendrick Moxon and Assistant Jennifer did show up. They introduced themselves to a member of the prosecuting team. Moxon, interestingly enough, brought up some possible bail violations, none of which I couldn't hear what they were, but none of which seemed to be really tangible or meaningful in a significant way. And quite quickly, the person from the prosecutor's team seemed to reject that and essentially pass the buck. From what I could overhear is that they were mostly deferring to what would happen in the felony case and that what decision they would make, and they haven't made any sort of motion or been even receptive to changing any sort of bail status. The attempt to curry the interest or curry even the favor of the prosecutors for the misdemeanor situation seemed to be unsuccessful. Technically, Cape Lovitz is the attorney, was at a trial, so they're doing it later, but I don't think Mox and Jennifer even showing up, and they already gave the result that it would be continuance. So that's it. It's here very early just to double check and see if I can make it. But that's but really nothing happened, and we already know the result. And, I don't know if it's really worth flying out only for the misdemeanor things because they're just going to follow the lead, as we now know, of the felony situation. So really nothing, no news other than that. DOA's bail did not get revoked. Again, Moxon attempted to try to get it revoked or at least say that there were violations. That was not successful at all. So that's really the only bit of news in the situation. And to analyze DOA's case, it's hard to say. It's going to be the ball is going to be thrown many months in the future when there's actually a trial. I don't expect a full trial until September, October, if that, maybe even November. And in the meantime, I think DOA has stayed in the location, so I don't think he's violated bail, but he also has to shut his mouth and stay out of trouble, because remember, anything you do, anything you say can and will be held against you. So I think he's been pretty decent since the Becky kerfuffle, but he has to make sure to remain so and to remain magnanimous and level-headed and not bombastic, because people are actively trying to thwart him. Now, this case ultimately boils down to a case of free speech, as much as a headache that DOA might give people, and I don't think he's been helpful for the movement. You still have to subjectively think that if this is going to set precedent, you want protesters to be able to express their free speech. Now, of course, you have to meet in the middle and think, what is a smart tactic? And DOA has not employed intelligent tactics, and DOA's protesting, unfortunately, has made it worse for other people who have been playing it by the book. So that's the negative. So you still have to recognize that DOA has been reckless, destructive, and sloppy in a manner that would harm the success and just the ability for other protesters to protest. So you can see, you can make a myriad of conclusions about it, but nothing really much else to report. I will be there tomorrow for DOA versus Mindy. Unless Spindell gets a continuance, there should be a full back and forth conversation, something, it's annoying to fly in and then nothing happens. I figured that would be the case. But I'm hoping something happens tomorrow. Another thing to look out for is, will Spindell just try to get another continuance and try to, just do that over and over and over again? Minty doesn't have an attorney, so she'll need to be aggressive. And she'll need to also bring up times that ZDT has violated even the temporary restraining order, because she has that technically, but doesn't have it to be a permanent restraining order. So she can bring up direct violations, further threats, even after the things were filed, to further strengthen her case. So it looks like she's been pretty assiduous and will do all of that. And I think it looks good that she will be able to get that restraining order against CDT. But that's kind of the big thing to cover, I would say. And other than that, nothing too interesting. I think I'll probably take a little trip. I got to pick up my car in Ohio, so I'll take a little trip for about a month along the Great Lakes, so not much happening then. And then Diddy will have a development about bail or something in October, and then I'll do a lot of the mayoral election and probably come back here for a lot of the November development. So thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.